Welcome to the Shermer High Alumni Association. I'm Kristen,
And I'm Janine.
and we rewatch movies from the 80s to determine, did that age well?
We are officially in spooky season, and we're kicking it off with the 1980 thriller Friday the 13th.
Join us as we rewind, rewatch, and remember the decade that shaped us. Hi there.
Hi,
How are you?
totally phenomenal. How are you?
Fantastic.
That's
Fantastic.
great. That's great.
Carol's not with us today. She's got some really exciting things going on this week, and she wasn't able to join us this
She
evening.
had to focus on that.
So we're in October.
We are.
It's officially Christmas.
Kind of.
It is Halloween season, the best time of
Yeah,
the year.
it really is.
Are you ready for the cold season?
No, I'm never excited about that. I'm never excited about driving in snow, driving to work and back in the snow, driving with other people who don't know how to drive in the snow. It's just not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. You work out east, which I do remember from our childhood. There was a camp out there, Camp Isaac Joe's.
Yeah.
Was that a St. Mark's camp or a Girl Scout camp?
No, I think it was a CYO camp, wasn't it? I think it
CYO
was.
camp.
What's CYO? Why am I using
That
that?
that's sports.
It is
Well,
it?
I mean, I played some sports. I don't remember you playing some sports. Did you
Um,
play some sport? No, it was something like where we you went to in sixth grade.
no, I'm thinking like Catholic. What does
You
CYO
Catholic
stand
you
for? Catholic
if it
Youth.
was Catholic Youth Organization.
Yeah, I thought it was a CYO camp. Like,
I think it might be a CYO camp, but it's what we went to when we were in sixth grade.
yes.
I don't know.
I
I
and I
think
thought
one
it
of
was
our two,
Saint. I thought it was Saint Isaac Joe's.
isn't that what I said?
I don't know. We're both old. I can't remember what
We are, but I
happened.
do remember it. I do remember. I don't know if it still exists.
Welcome to CYO Camp, North Madison, Ohio. Northern Ohio's finest camp for boys and girls. Well, but it doesn't say the name of it. That's
Oh,
cool.
and we had pen pals. Do you remember?
Oh,
Do you remember that? We became pen pals with a kid at another Catholic school.
I vaguely remember that.
And then you got to meet them when you got to St. Isaac Joe. So it was like a Catholic school on the east side and a Catholic school on the west side, because that's the equivalent of like the distance of going to Europe.
It
I'm
shows
just
that
remembering.
camp. It shows Camp St. Isaac Joe's was in Cresco, Pennsylvania.
No, it wasn't.
Did they move
There's
it?
Did they move? No, we're gonna have to look into those. But we didn't grow up as camp kids. We weren't
No.
sent away to camp. We did not camp as a family. And I think that this week's movie, Friday the 13th, makes me real glad that I wasn't a camp kid. Because
Yeah, same.
had I seen this movie in 1980, which would never have happened because I was six, you were like
I was
two or three.
three.
There's just, I never would have gone to camp.
Yeah, no. You went to space camp.
I went to space camp, but that's about as campy as I'm going to get there, even though I'm going camping next weekend. But we
That's
did
not the
definitely,
same.
uh, no, but we did grow
You're
up as camp kids.
no,
And
definitely not.
I'm a okay. A okay.
Yeah, same. I'm not cut out for camping. Like roughing it camping. I'm not that.
Oh, sure. Oh, you'd be fine.
No.
If you
I
went
don't
with
like
us, you'd be fine.
I don't like being dirty. I don't like touching things that are dirty. I don't like not having air conditioning. I don't
Oh,
I just maybe I'm too
hmm.
bougie for camping. I'm
Guess
just
so.
not that kind of girl.
Okay.
I don't like
Well,
not being able to take a shower every day and like just I don't know. I don't think I
okay.
could do it.
Well, maybe in cabins and at up at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, that looked
Uh
kind of
they had cabins with beds and showers. I mean,
they did. They did.
they did
Which kind of reminds me, if I remember Camp Isaac Joe's, it it reminded me of that.
a little bit. Yeah. See, now we have to go on a mission here.
Yeah, we
I'll
have to
look
go
this
down a
up
rabbit
later.
hole. That's your this week's rabbit hole.
Yeah, this week's rabbit hole that we're allowed to choose one rabbit. So Friday the 13th is a 1980s horror movie based at a summer camp, Camp Crystal Lake. And it is the story of a campground that had some bad things happen to it in the like late 1950s. And there were some murders, and it was shut down. Fast forward 20 some years, and someone decides to reopen the camp, bring the camp back to life. And this is the movie of them trying to get the camp open for the summer. You've got Steve, who I guess he's the owner. He's the owner, and he's there with Julie, and who's maybe his girlfriend.
I
It's
don't
kind
think
of
so. It's kind of a weird dynamic
it
there.
is because like she like sketched him
Well,
sleeping, and then he weirdly touched her hair, and then we don't really see him again because he leaves.
he's
But then
out
there's
doing some stuff.
he's out
But
doing some stuff.
it's weird because like in my mind, like all these like people that come to work there are all teenagers. And so I just assumed that she was like a teenager, but then he would have to be older because if you're buying a campground, you've got to be like a full-blown adult.
Well, it sounds like Christie, like it sounds like it's a family owned place, I believe. And he may have inherited it. It seems like there's two waves of people here. You've got
Yeah,
Steve and Alice and Bill and Brenda. They were all there when the others got there.
that's true.
Where you got Jack and Marcy and Ned and poor Annie. So they seemed like older, like a slight bit older than the kids that showed up.
Yeah, maybe it's hard to tell. But it just
Yeah.
seemed like, I don't know, like the way that I saw that scene was like he was hitting on like a teenage girl. And
Oh,
it was
okay.
like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, no, I she seemed like an adult to me. Like Bill,
Yeah, maybe.
Brenda, Alice, and Steve all seemed like adults to me, young adults, but adults. And then the like entry level counselors, which was like Jack, Marcy, Ned.
Yeah.
That's how it seems like to me. So the counselors come in, they're helping to get the camp set up, and then the mysterious killings begin. And that is our overall movie synopsis of Friday the 13th without giving too much away. Also, if you haven't seen this movie, please stop this podcast, go watch that, or watch along with us. Otherwise, none of this will make sense.
So we've got Adrienne King, who plays Alice. She's actually the final girl. So she's the one who survives.
One who walks
She's the
away.
one who survives. Although we don't think that she survives, but then we find out she does.
Does.
So Adrienne King actually had a short career and later she just became a winemaker.
I wonder where.
Yeah.
I wonder where.
Ooh. We're gonna
Oh,
get all
shit.
these old actors and actresses from like these 80s movies to like make us furniture and make us wine and
Sell us houses.
sell us some houses and yeah. Okay, so we also had Betsy Palmer who plays Mrs. Voorhees. She's
Ooh.
actually a veteran actress. She thought that the script to this movie was actually a piece of trash, but iconic in horror. So she's very well known for sort of playing these parts.
Yeah, and
Um,
she was well known in 50s movies, things we'd never seen, like Mr. Roberts and Queen Bee and
yeah, stuff we don't
um
know about.
yeah, things we've never really watched. So we're not going to talk about it, but she was definitely has been around Hollywood, was well known for sure.
Yes, and of course we've got Kevin Bacon. This was actually one of his earliest roles, and it was before he was actually a star. So this was before Footloose or Tremors. So yeah, Kevin Bacon as a wee BB.
And I have so many Kevin Bacon notes. He he
He what?
there's
Yes.
it just starts with the Speedo and the boner. I swear to God. Like Kevin Bacon, come, oh my gosh. There's a lot of Kevin Bacon that we saw in this movie.
Yeah,
You ready to get into it?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Great, let's do it.
Okay.
Before we jump in, I'm going to take a quick pause because we have to tell you about one of our favorite travel tour operators, Viator. We are always trying to make our trips more memorable, more unique, definitely less stressful. And that's exactly why we use Viator. They've got literally hundreds of thousands of tours and activities all over the world. Food tours in Paris, ghost walks in Brooklyn, snorkeling in Hawaii, or even just skipping the line at the Eiffel Tower, which, if you've been, you know what I'm talking about. And Viator's got you covered. And the best part, they make booking super easy. You can read real reviews, you can book ahead. Reserve now, pay later is one of the best perks they have. And you can even cancel up to 24 hours before if plans change. We've used them ourselves many times. And honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to turn a regular trip into a story you'll be telling for years. So if you're planning on your next getaway or even just daydreaming about it right now, check out Viator through our link at shawpodcast.com. That's SHAA podcast.com/Viator, Viator. That way, you're not just booking your trip, you're also helping to support our podcast. Now, let's get into the movie. Okay, so we open this movie and in 1958, it's nighttime. Camp Crystal Lake is the name of the camp. I'm assuming it's New Jersey. I did not actually look, but I believe it's New Jersey just because Annie later gets dropped off at a near a cemetery that's in Hope, New Jersey. So hopefully that's not like a goof, but like really it's just set in New Jersey. And there is a crowd of teenagers sitting around an area and they're singing some God songs. I didn't,
Yeah,
there's,
that's what
there's,
people did.
I mean, yeah. And there's a girl strumming the guitar. They're singing some hallelujahs. And there's a boy sitting on the ground, all moon eyed over her. And this couple gets up after singing some hallelujahs and they decide to sneak off. And then the kids
Uh-oh.
they continue to sing something about a Tom Dooley. I don't know who Tom Dooley is, but they sing about him. And this couple walks off into what I assume is a cabin and they're gonna do it.
Aw.
and they lay out, I don't know, maybe a tarp. I don't know what they lay out.
Ew.
Maybe some, maybe some sort of army blanket. Whatever it
You
was didn't look cozy.
you know what you're always like in the mood for after singing some Jesus songs is laying
Tarp
out a
sex.
tarp with your man. Like yeah, tarp sex. Yep.
Tarp sex. And so I don't think they actually get to do it, but
No, I
it
don't
doesn't,
think so.
I don't think they get so, and so then you go into this POV view, this point of view camera, as if you, the killer, sort of have a GoPro on your chest, right?
Yeah, you
Um,
are the killer.
you are the killer, and you get up this go up these stairs, it's creaking, and the kids hear you, and there's no shock. There's no shock there. It's all like, oh, it's you. I noted that. It wasn't like, you're a killer. It was like, oh, we're not doing anything wrong. And the the killer, the POV killer, immediately stabs the boy. He reels back. He's
Squirting out some
dead.
blood.
He's squirting out some blood. And then the girl is like, ugh, throws like, I don't know, piece of toilet paper at her. I don't, like
Like
she's
some
not
twine or
twine.
something.
Yeah, like, stay away from me. And
Please
then,
don't touch me, okay?
yeah. And so then she's killed. And so that sets the scene of the movie.
Yeah. Everybody's gonna just get slashed.
We didn't do Halloween. We didn't do Halloween because Halloween was 70s. So this is really the first 80s horror film, at least on our list, that we're going to do. And I know, and we're going to talk about it later, that this was not a well received movie in general. And it was definitely, I think, considered a disappointment compared to Halloween. Is that the one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then of course it was better.
Yes.
And so how this movie, I think there's so much we have to learn about like slasher movies or whatever this is considered, right? Because there's so much to learn for us because we didn't grow up watching these movies. Like how this shaped other movies moving forward. So it's like kind of cool that we're watching this now because I think it'll help us in the future of like how we see other slasher movies, perhaps.
Yeah, I didn't watch any like scary movies as a kid
Okay.
ever.
The most scary movies, like my very best friend in grade school, Colleen, she had a sleepover and we watched Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Oh God.
So that was like we were pretty young. And so that was terrifying. And then my other friend Aaron had a sleepover, and I think that's the when I saw The Evil Dead,
Jeez.
which is hilarious. So funny. I don't think it's supposed to be funny, but I found it hilarious. So anyway, I think it'll help us as we watch. I know we've got some other Halloweeny movies we're watching. So this sets the stage for where we come into is the present day, what they're calling the present day, which is early summer 1980. And we get into hold on. Okay. I want to go back. I want to talk about Dad used to do that to us.
Yes, he did.
Yes, I have him written down here. I was like, and it was so creepy. And we had no idea why he was doing it, but he would do it.
Yeah. And now that we're like in our like late
50s.
40s, early 50s, now we're putting two and two together that we're like, wow, like we have some stories about our dad, but now we're like, whoa, he did this stuff too.
So he saw this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I wonder if him and mom went on like a date and went and saw it.
Can we phone a friend? I'll text
Uh,
her.
yeah, text her, ask her. So we get back to present day. We see a young girl. She's walking along and she sees a dog. I'll mention the dog because there is a dog. But then she ends up in a little diner asking about Camp Crystal Lake. How do I get to Crystal Lake? And it's again, everything comes back to Pee Wee's Big Adventure, right? It's like the same exact reaction as when Pee Wee came in saying Large Marge sent me.
Yeah. They're like, what?
What? You mean Killer Lake, or what did the lady
You're
call
going
it?
where?
Where?
Did she
And
call it Blood Lake? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't
yeah, they
remember.
call it was like it was far enough. She was like, "Can I get a bus?" Or like, "No, you're not getting a bus, but here, we're gonna have this random old man drive you halfway there."
Yeah. And she's all like, yay.
Yay,
Um,
yeah. She's like all hyped
I
up.
I would walk the 20 miles, but sure. Like it's
Sure, if you want to
20
drive me a little way.
20 miles and we don't even know how far she came from because she looked like she
Right.
had been walking for a while.
Yeah. So we don't know if she got off a train or we don't really know much about Annie because she's in all of like 7 minutes of this movie. So she goes out with Tito or whatever his name was with the oil truck. And the first thing is like, is everybody up there going to be as pretty as you?
Ugh.
And then to top that all off, he goes to help her into the truck and he just
Ass
does it
grab.
by pushing her butt into the truck. And I was like, oh, but before that, they run
Yeah.
into the townie, Ralph.
Ugh.
Ralph
Yeah.
says, don't go, don't go. You know, you're gonna die. Don't go
Yeah.
there.
You should
And everyone's like,
probably turn
oh,
around.
crazy townie, Ralph, what do you know? Well, apparently a lot. Ralph knows a lot.
He does. He's a smart man.
And so was his name Tito? And see, now I don't remember. And so
No, his
he's
name was Odin. Oh,
Odin.
Enos.
He
Enos.
knows so close.
Same thing.
He's driving Annie, and she's like, tell me what's good." She's all blah blah blah, and he goes, there was a boy, and he drowned there in '57, and then these counselors were died up there in 1958, and it's been closed ever since. It's cursed. Blah blah blah. So then we see Enos drop Annie off right in front of a cemetery entrance, like out on the road. And he drops her off, and she's got her camp pack, and she's gonna walk whatever the rest of the 10 miles. I don't know. We don't know how long she has to walk. Doesn't really matter.
She's a real trooper.
She is a real trooper. She's very health conscious girl. And then we see the other counselors, and this would be Jack and Marcy and Ned driving up in their pickup truck. Obviously, they are three close friends. Jack and Marcy appear to be a couple. And Ned says something like they're talking about women or they're talking about something. And Ned goes, I just I just think of kissing women. Same. It was just a strange line. It was
Well,
just a
he's a
strange.
strange kid.
He is, and there's other things where you kind of think that maybe he's like in love with Marcy because he like watches them when they're
Mm,
kind of making out by the lake, and he's just like, I don't know. Ned's weird. Well,
yeah.
we're gonna point out a few things Ned does, but why don't they see Annie? like I guess we're supposed to assume there's just multiple roads that lead to
Yeah, they took the
Crystal
back road.
Lake.
She took the front road.
I guess, yeah. And so I do note that the musical score slaps. I feel like
Yeah.
whoever did the music for this movie did an excellent job.
Harry Manfredini.
Okay.
Harry Manfredini.
So Jack, Marcy, and Ned in their pickup truck arrive at the camp, and they arrive to Steve like
Chopping some wood.
chopping a tree trunk. And he's like, hey guys, help me out. And they all sort of run over to like push this rotted stump over. And
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon literally does zero things. He just
Yes.
lightly, featherly touches this tree trunk. And I just
Yes.
thought that was hilarious. And so we got the kids, they're at the camp, and Steve and Alice, they're working on like some gutters, and Alice is working on the gutters while Steve does nothing but walk around without a shirt on.
Yeah.
And Alice, like, girl, she is holding this hammer at like the most awkward angle. Like, that is how you break a wrist.
It
Do
was
not do
almost
that
like they were
again.
trying to make it seem like women don't know what they're doing, but yet she's got a ladder, a hammer, she's holding a gutter up like at the like up above her. And it's like, and then Steve's just standing there sort of like, "Hey, what are you doing? Do you need some help?"
Yeah, and
It's
he's like,
like,
"Oh,
what?
you sketched me in my sleep." It was weird. It
What?
was weird. And then we go back, and the kids have really jumped into setting up camp, and this is where we see Brenda for the first time, and she's going to set up like the archery things, and she's like surprised by Ned, who she's never met before, who shoots an
Yeah.
arrow at the like bullseye, like narrowly missing her. And they have this interchange, and it's like they've known each other. So it's really hard to tell the dynamic between these kids, but in the viewer's perception, this is the first time they've ever met. And they immediately just start flirting with each other, and she's threatening his life kind of like he's like, I like when you talk to me sexy. And I was like, Ned,
What?
bro, you've got the
Oh.
worst lines.
You guys got the worst game.
Seriously. And that's when we go back to Alice is still walking the road. Alice is walking the road.
Annie.
Annie, sorry, Annie, sorry.
It's all good.
Annie's still walking the road, and we see this like classic soft top Jeep kind of. We see it in a POV, like we sort of see it in a POV. So I don't know if that's supposed to give a clue to the viewer or not, but it comes kind of driving past Annie and stops, and she's all excited. She's got a ride now. And you see she gets into the car. Whoever she's looking at is not scary. Doesn't seem to be like off put by whoever she gets into the car with. Like, hey, this is great. And then they cut to something that I think they cut back to her. And she's just basically just blabbing. She's just blabbing her life story about how she likes kids, but she doesn't like kids being called kids because they're not goats. It just it's just
What?
going all around, all around. And then she notes that this person passes up the entrance to Crystal Lake. And she gets immediately like, we passed it wait, I need you to stop. Hey, you need to let me out. And the person starts to drive faster. And Annie ultimately jumps out of the car, right? And injures herself pretty badly that she is not able to outrun this killer. And so she runs into the woods, as most people who are about to get killed do. And she falls enough times that she gets up, she turns around, and there is that person, and slashes her throat. Annie's dead.
Poor Annie.
What didn't gross me out about this was that you could tell that was a fake neck. Like
Oh,
you,
yeah.
yeah, it didn't look
I
anywhere near.
mean,
I get it, like in 1980, like you're seeing this, and like we're seeing it like enhanced. We're seeing it so much better than anybody else. It's excellent. I think that whoever Tom Savini, I think, did all the effects, did an excellent job. But it didn't like gross me out. Like we just finished watching The Pit. Holy crap. Now that, which is a like an ER show with Noah Wiley,
oh,
and an amazing show. It won all the Emmys. That one's like you're like gonna vomit because you think you're seeing like real stuff. This was like, oh, that's a fake neck. So anyway, Annie's dead. So that fades to white. And we just kind of get into this part of the movie where I personally feel like it just starts to drag, like really unnecessary quiet moments. It happens more and more as we move on. There's a scene with Alice making coffee where I'm like, this is never going to end. The scene's never going to end. So they're doing the things. The kids are out at the lake. They're swimming. Ned pretends to drown because he's so hilarious. And Steve, at some point, and I've watched it 3 times this week, Steve at some point leaves.
there's a thunderstorm approaching. And so he's got to leave to go get supplies.
I remember him saying that, but I guess they just didn't show him leaving.
Probably
I
not.
remember not like because I just don't remember a moment where he did leave.
Well, like Steve is sort of like in and out, where you're just sort of like, where's Steve?
So Steve's gone. Steve has left because there is a bad thunderstorm approaching and he needed supplies. And so he's gone. And so the kids are kind of goofing off. And you see a policeman kind of come up on his motorbike. And Ned comes out of screen right from nowhere in his tidy whities with something tied around his waist, wearing an Indian headdress, doing an Indian war call, a war whoop. Like,
yeah, what?
And so the policeman, he gets off his motorcycle, and this is where Kevin Bacon just kind of comes in. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And then just kind of goes over to his bike and just starts kind of
he's like enamored with the bike. He's like, "Wow, nice bike, man. This is nice." And like touching his bike, and like he goes to like return like the radio call.
Yeah, like he's gonna pick up the radio.
What are you doing, Kevin Bacon?
What are you doing? So the policeman's like, "Did you just get off a spaceship?" And they're like, "What? Colombian gold, man, grass, hash, the weed,
you know
dig
it?
it?"
Would you just get off a spaceship or something? Colombian gold, man, grass, hash, the weed, dig it?
Yeah, what? What are you talking about, cop dude?
What? So you got Ned in the headdress. You've got Kevin Bacon. Sorry, Jack. You've got Jack tinkering with a cop's motorcycle. The policeman, well, Colombian gold, man, grass, hash, the weed, dig it? Like, that was the funny, like, I think that's another t-shirt.
Yes.
Right? And so we get past that. He leaves because he gets a call. He's got to go and attend to something. And the drive out scene, the drive out scene of the policeman was like,
what?
Could that have been edited out?
Yeah, we don't care that he left.
The painful turnaround, and he just sort of skids. It's like, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, we
It
didn't
made me
need that.
uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, me too. He didn't look like a cool cop. He looked like a loser.
Right. And so we get to a point that Jack and Marcy are flitting about on some trees and stuff by the water, and they're kissing and running and kissing and whatever. And it pans back, right? It pans back, and you see Ned looking at them, which is like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing watching them?
He's a voyeur.
And so, yeah. So he's sort of like is lollygagging about, and he thinks he hears something near the cabin or in the cabin. And you see Ned go up and into the cabin.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
Are you doing the Julia Roberts?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So then we move on to Jack and Marcy have decided, after their flitting about among the water
and their beach time,
that they're going to come back to the cabin to have the sex. And so that's our gratuitous sex scene of the movie, I believe. I don't think we have a different one. And it's not gratuitous at all, obviously. So we see some scenes of Marcy on her back, and there's some
in her underpants.
And we get to, and it kind of goes back and forth because there's stuff happening with the older counselors, and they're making dinner and playing games, and there's a whole bunch of other random pointless stuff happening. But Jack and Marcy kind of get done with their thing, and Marcy's like, I gotta go potties. And so she gets up and leaves to go to the restroom, and Jack lays onto the bed. I think he lights a cigarette.
No, I think he lights a joint.
Oh, does he light a joint?
I think it's a joint.
Yeah, okay. So he lights a joint, and he's laying there waiting for his sweetie to come back from the potties. And lo and behold,
some blood drips on his head. And he's like, what the duck?
Some blood drips onto his face, I believe. Yep. And we don't see, well, he doesn't ever see where that blood's coming from. But yeah, the camera pans back. And this is not a POV murder. This is maybe the only one that's not a POV murder. I don't know. But it goes back to Jack, and you see the arrow go straight up through his chest, like through his breastbone.
Yeah, which was the hardest scene for them to film in the whole movie.
Which I believe. You can tell if you're looking at it, you can tell that the neck to the body is not real, and that you're just seeing Kevin Bacon's head. So Kevin's underneath.
Yes.
Today, you can tell it. In 1980, there's no way you would have been able to tell that was a different body. But so you have sex, you die. We learned this in 1958. We're learning it again in 1980. So the movie then just starts to move in that pattern of, so now Annie is dead. Ned is dead.
We talk about Ned being dead on the bunk bed above them.
The blood went to the top of Kevin, and then the camera backs up and we see Ned.
Yeah, so Ned is on the top bunk.
And then we go back to Kevin. Yes, Ned is on that top bunk.
And his blood is dripping all over.
Yes.
You can actually see like blood drips like on the side of the pillow that they're like using for the sex, and it's like,
Can
ew.
you?
Yeah.
Never see this stuff. So now we just start to move into like the rest of the murders. And so we've got Annie, Ned, Jack are now all dead. So Marcy has gone to the bathroom and she's sitting there going potty. And she's got like a big flashlight and she hears a noise. She hears a noise and she thinks it's Jack. And so she's calling Jack's name and she's not getting an answer. And she is like, whatever. So she gets out of the potty and she goes to wash her hands. And then she decides to do an impression. She's like, when I look into that mirror, I knew I'd always be ugly. I said, Lizzie, you'll always be plain. And that is Katharine Hepburn in The Rainmaker. And I don't know why that happened. I don't know that I've ever. Okay, this is what I was trying to think of. I was trying to think of a time where I just verbally tried to amuse myself.
Yes.
I'm like, maybe that has occurred. Like, I'm trying to like make myself laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does she do this?
And plus, like, I don't recall any time where I've used the potty and then I go to wash my hands and I'm like, you know what I should do right now while I'm washing my hands?
Is my Katharine Hepburn impression.
Is do an impression of Katharine Hepburn. Or anyone for that matter. I don't know that I've ever done an impression of anyone after I just went potty or even after I got out of the shower or like, I don't know, just sort of strange.
By myself, right? Like I could see doing like a pee-wee, la, 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 la. Like I could see doing that, but like,
right,
I'm in the company of you or somebody, right? Like,
yeah, that makes sense. But
anyway,
by yourself,
it was just
in a camp
odd
bathroom.
Yeah, it was just odd. It was a good impression. It was a very good impression. I will give her that. But then she continues to hear some noises, and I just have to comment. Like, she's definitely got that Leah Thompson thing going on with the like tight baby doll shirt with the undies.
Yeah,
like noted. I was like, very Leah Thompson
and like her raincoat on top of it.
I loved it, and I would kill for one of those raincoats, like that one. I don't want somebody's remade one.
Yeah.
And so she's coming over to the like the what I assume is the showers because of those dirty like shower curtains. And she's looking around and she turns around and gosh be darn it, she gets an axe to the head.
I hate when that happens to me.
I know. There's just nothing you can do about it.
Really, you can't.
And it's just, again, it goes to cinematography, it goes to special effects, is that they obviously have to pan away for her to get the axe in the head. And then when they come back to her, just the blood isn't in the right positions. Not that I'm Dexter, I'm no blood spatter expert, but like so I don't, it's like she had blood as if she had a throat injury, like a throat slash, but really it's an axe to the head. It just didn't match. Anyway, so Marcy's gone. Bye, Marcy. Then we go back to the older counselors. They're playing a routine game of strip Monopoly.
Yes, which is what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
At camp.
Yes. When there's a storm and you have nothing else to do.
Strip Monopoly.
Yeah. And so the rain's really coming down really hard. And Brenda was like, oh, I think I left my door open or my window open. I'm just going to go and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And she leaves. She doesn't put her clothes back on. She just like leaves in her her undies and her raincoat. Maybe she's carrying her clothes. I don't know. And she goes to bed. So Brenda's in her cabin and she's got her nightgown on now. And she's reading a book when she hears what sounds like a little boy yelling, "Help me! Help me!" And this is just what why not just come in, killer? Why not just come in and just boop, slash your throat right in your bed? But no, it was like now the killer's sort of playing with the victim. And so it draws her out of the cabin into the night, into the rain, into the pouring rain. And she's trying to find this boy, and this voice keeps going like, hurry up, hurry up. And she ends up on that archery field that she initially was setting up at the beginning of the movie. All the lights get turned on. But then it just cuts away. Like, we don't actually see Brenda get killed, but I think we hear Brenda get killed.
Yeah,
and I assume it's by
she's like
arrows.
screaming.
Yeah, like that the killer has now shot arrows at her and killed her. Alice and Bill are back like in the house that they're staying in. And for whatever reason, they need to find Brenda, or they need to find Brenda, but I don't remember why exactly. And so they go to her cabin and she's not there, and oh, she must be with Jack and Marcy or whatever. And Bill finds in Brenda's bed a bloody axe. And they both are kind of like, well, that's weird.
Yeah, what is going on here?
What is going on here?
That's weird that she has a bloody axe in her bed.
Right. So then we go to Steve, or maybe I've got those backwards, but then we go to Steve. Steve's in town. Steve's at a diner. He's not at the same diner that Annie was at. He's at some roadside diner. And he's talking to someone who looks somewhere between like Dorothy Foldheim and like our grandma.
Yes.
And she's telling Steve that he cannot go back out in that rain. You cannot go back out in that.
And he really shouldn't.
Flooded. And he really shouldn't. And he shouldn't have. And I got counselors up there. I got to get back. All right. So Steve goes out to his Jeep and, he takes off, but he doesn't get super far. But he like stalls out. Something happens. He's trying to restart the Jeep and he just floods the engine. He can't get it going. But then like a cop car comes, or the cop car actually seems to be coming to him. So I don't know if this is just it just happened or what. But the cop is like, okay, I'll take you back. But halfway through, they get a call on the radio for an emergency back out at the highway. Something like that. He gotta go. Jack, or Steve, sorry. You gotta get out. You gotta go. So Steve's got to walk the rest of the way back to Crystal Lake.
There's a lot of walking in this.
There's so much walking in this. And, so we'll talk about Steve, but then this is in the time where really long, drawn out scenes happen. So Steve ends up walking back towards Crystal Lake on his own. And okay, just so I am not upsetting any Friday the 13th fans, is that there's crossover between Brenda and Steve. So I'm just doing them separately and not interweave. I'm not doing a scene by scene here, because in this Steve scene of the rain and the driving is like when Brenda's getting ready for bed and blah, 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 blah. So just don't at me. I'm just going based on each person just getting killed. So back to Steve gets to like the entrance of Crystal Lake, right? And a bright light is shown on him. And he walks forward. He seems to kind of like maybe know who this person is, right? And is like, oh, what are you doing out this way? And then just gets killed. But they do this really comically funny, so fun, like this sound effect.
Hi.
This kind of slasher sound effect is just hilarious. So here's where we've just got these transition scenes. We go back to the house where Alice and Bill are. They're just kind of lounging around, whatever. And
The power goes out.
is that where the power goes out? And Bill is going to go and check
the generator.
Yep. So Alice is alone. I don't know why I keep wanting to call her Julie. Because she looks like Julie, the cruise director from Love Boat.
Yes.
So we get to this point where Alice and Bill are kind of like, there's some weird shit going on here, but they don't exactly know what. But they think they need to call for help, right? And so they go to the office. They're going to try and get into the office. They end up having to break into the office. And you see that the line has been cut, that the killer has already made sure that they do not have access to a working phone line. And so after Steve gets killed, we go back to Bill's going to try and fix the generator, right? Like we were talking about.
Yep. And somehow like Alice is like, well, what the hell happened to Bill? Because he just sort of like disappeared for a while.
Right. Okay. Right. So
she goes out to like
do the
porch.
office scene, right? They do the office scene. And then all of a sudden, like, she's asleep.
Yeah, she's like snoozing on the couch or something.
She's snoozing on like, is she? Yeah, she's inside. Obviously, it's raining. So she's inside. She's fast asleep, and Bill's not there. And she sees because there's a lantern that the power has gone out. Right? Like, at what point did she find time to go to sleep?
We don't know how much time has passed.
Well, no, they already know something fucked up's going on. We can't find we can't find these people.
But I'm gonna take a day. She's had a long day. She's just gonna take a little disco nap until something happens. Somebody else gets killed, and
so this is where, oh my gosh, I should time this. So she gets up, she goes into the kitchen, and she decides to make some coffee. So she turns on the burner and she moves the kettle and she gets some cups out. Then she gets out the instant coffee. And then she walks to the pantry. And then she gets the sugar. And then she brings the sugar to the cups. Then she puts the sugar in. I mean, it just keeps going. It's like,
I kind of like zoned out during that scene.
Please stop making this coffee.
Yeah, we get it. You're making coffee, bro.
So then she ultimately goes to look for Bill. And she finds him hanging from the door of the building that has the generator in it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And he's pin-cushioned to the door with arrows.
Cool.
I mean, his throat is slit. So that's how he died. But then the killer has pin-cushioned him to the door with arrows. So now Alice is freaked out. And if we're taking count, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead except Alice at this point. I don't think Alice knows this, but we do. She starts to barricade herself into the cabin, right? And at that point is where, or sometime close by, we see somebody pulling up. We see a Jeep pulling up, and she thinks it's Steve.
Yes.
And so she goes running outside because she thinks she sees Steve coming. And it is not Steve.
The funny part about her barricading the door is like she takes the rope and she like makes it real tight and then she puts all the stuff up against the door. But like the windows are just as easily accessible.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm just gonna shut these curtains. Like if somebody really wants to get to you, they're gonna be like, oh, this door is barricading. I'm just gonna go through the window.
Let's circle back to Brenda. So now she's right. So she's barricaded herself into the door, which doesn't make sense because the door goes out. So she's put all this stuff up. But you're right. Anyone could get in through the windows or the back door. And she kind of runs to the kitchen, and
the killer throws Brenda's body through the window.
It's so weird. Like
the killer just throws her body through.
Oh, okay. I'm a logistical person, and I need to understand how, in the pouring rain, as the killer, that you're able to get yourself around to the side of a house, to throw somebody through a window, and then end up back where you are. It does, like, there's some movie magic here that makes it not very plausible. Like, well, if the killer threw,
they're a killer, Kristen. They can do whatever they want.
They have magical powers.
They have magical powers. They can do it all.
So the killer throws Brenda's dead body through the window of the cabin,
which would not be an easy thing to do.
Lifting dead bodies.
Yeah, that dead weight. I mean, I've lifted quite a few dead bodies. And I mean, that's just dead weight. And you're going to lift that person up and hurl them through the window. That's
right, but also like with Bill. So this person must have superhuman strength. Like, how did this person lift Bill up to like attach him to a door? And then later on,
some sort of like hoisting system.
Right. They've got like a Hoyer lift.
Like, yeah.
What? And then like we see Steve sort of dangle down from a tree at some point. Like, how the fuck did he get up in a tree to be tied to like dangle back down?
But listen, hold up. So like this is at a camp, right? So like you're learning how to like tie knots and like do all this stuff with rope. So maybe this killer that we haven't revealed yet knows how to like make all this cool like pulley system with ropes that they can just tie up the dead bodies and just pull them up.
I just feel if I was a killer, it would take me hours.
Yeah.
Hours to hoist a full grown ass man up into a tree.
Well, obviously you wouldn't be very good then.
It would, because I would have to get I couldn't even project somebody through a window.
Well,
even with like a wheelbarrow, like I don't even think I could like I don't even
or
think
a catapult. You couldn't even do it with a catapult. Like
really
you'd couldn't. Have to have some, like you'd really have to have some
Hulk like strength.
Right. So you're gonna have to practice, and you're gonna have to really start like working on your upper body strength if this is something that you really want to do. I mean, that is
being a killer sounds hard.
Yeah.
It just seems like it takes a lot of effort.
I'm too tired for all that.
I'm too tired to be a killer. I'm just telling you.
Maybe we should have done this when we were younger.
Maybe in our 20s we would have been able to be a killer, but definitely no. Definitely not.
Yeah.
No.
And once they reveal who the killer is, it really doesn't make any sense.
Right. So Alice sees these lights. She sees something like a Jeep coming up the way. Assuming it's Steve, she's running out. Help me out. And we are introduced to a handsome woman
Very handsome.
of build
Of great upper body strength.
with great upper body strength in a killer cable knit sweater and turtleneck.
Hell yeah.
Out of this car. She's perfectly coiffed. Hair looks fine. Makeup looks fine. She's not wet at all. She just looks like she maybe came from a diner. Who knows? But she just looks like, or she came from like choir practice.
Or
She does not
bingo.
look like she's been running around a thunderstorm ridden camp killing a bunch of people. She just looks like a normal person. And Alice wants her to get her out of there. People are being killed. And she introduces herself as Mrs. Voorhees. She's a friend of the Christies who own this camp. And basically, Alice needs to chill the fuck out. Everything's fine. And Alice is like, no,
And
nothing
Mrs.
here
Voorhees is
fine.
not scared.
She's not scared.
Not at all.
Not at all. She's going to look into this. And so we already know that Mrs. Voorhees, right? Mrs. Voorhees is the killer.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But like, why is she doing this kind of cat and mouse toying with this last person? Because it almost seems, as we will go through my speed round of this kind of final scene, is everyone else just got killed, right?
Well, that wouldn't make a very good movie. So if we just speed kill everybody and then we're just like, all right, movie's over.
So she must know that this is the last person, or she like whatever. So she's gonna go in the house. She goes in the house, and Alice follows not far behind. And Mrs. Voorhees sees dead Brenda on the floor, and she kind of starts going, they never should have reopened this. They never should have blah blah blah. And she asks Alice, do you know that there was a boy who drowned here? His name was Jason. And it's around here. Hold on. It's not right exactly here, but it's around here that we start to flash back and forth from Mrs. Voorhees to the water, the lake water, and some sort of bald thing is sort of kind of popping out of it. Yeah. And so Mrs. Voorhees basically just gives the tea to Alice. Like, I used to work here in the 50s. My son was here and he drowned because the camp counselors were not paying attention to him and obviously off having sex somewhere. And she doesn't explicitly say that, I don't think. But she kind of hints to it. And that Alice, do they fight before Alice leaves the cabin, or does Alice just get out of the cabin?
No, I think that Mrs. Voorhees actually pulls out a Bowie knife and attempts to stab Alice. And Alice flees, and she discovers the bodies of Annie and Steve in the process.
Okay, so that's the point where she runs outside. She gets in the Jeep because she's going to take the Jeep, and she sees the dead body of Annie. She gets out of the Jeep, and then either he's already hanging or he comes down. But then there's the hanging dead body of Steve.
Yes.
I got to give it to Annie. Alice, Jesus. I got to give it to Alice. Like, she's resourceful and she's really trying. So I think she ends up in where the office is, maybe, because she finds the gun and she's trying to find the bullets to load the gun.
Yeah.
And this scene is hilarious So
Yes.
so Mrs. Voorhees goes, she actually gets the generator running, and she ends up over, yeah, I don't know what, it doesn't matter what building this is, but she ends up into the building where Alice is with the gun. And this is another one of those scene stretchers where it's just like, oh my God, when is this going to end? And so she doesn't get the bullet. So she just kind of hits Mrs. Voorhees with the gun. And then she just starts throwing things at her, like that chick in
Yes.
1958. She's like, ugh, ugh. It's
Here's
like,
a-
it looked like
here's
a
a-
wheel of cheese,
And like a ball of twine.
a
She's
ball
like,
of twine. And then like,
please stay away from me.
and then like, they're they're doing this thing. They're both doing it like with their hair. They both have short hair. And like they're like whipping their hair, but they don't have hair.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe that. And
It was
so,
like they were trying to add sex appeal to this, like,
girl fight.
yeah, like,
And then
oh my God, look at me, I'm fighting it.
I'm fighting.
Fighting.
And then like Mrs. Voorhees just starts slapping Alice.
It's like, okay, you've seen all the other shit that she's done, and now it's
Right.
like, well,
Where's the Bowie knife?
Let me just smack you.
And then I'm gonna move you over here and I'm gonna push you and you're gonna be pushed. And then like Alice gets her and like it's the funniest fallback scene. Like, does she kick her?
Yeah, it's like a total girl fight.
Right, but like the way Mrs. Voorhees has to like
She
kind of
no,
like
I'm sorry. This is like, okay, we call it something different, but she actually kicks her right in the crotch.
yes. Okay, she kicks her in the crotch, but Mrs. Voorhees kind of has to do this like
Whoa.
because the mattresses are so far back.
Yes.
She's like, what?
Whoa, you kicked me in the crotch and now I'm gonna fall for a
Way
long
back
time.
here. And so Alice goes running, and then of course Mrs. V gets up. She's gonna come after her. So there's some they have some like forest hide and seek happening, and then there's that this is where we start to get a little overlay, little fancy overlay of the scene, but also Mrs. Voorhees' lips and her
Yes.
teeth. But now Mrs. Voorhees, I believe, has lipstick on.
Nice. Well, she put some on while she was
Obviously,
falling back
that
onto the
face-
mattress.
It's like, and so now Mrs. V is talking as if she is her dead son.
This is
Kill
the
her,
only part of the
Bonnie.
this is
Kill
the part of
her.
the movie that was creepy. This is the only part that I was like, oh God.
Ugh.
It's
This
like
woman has some serious mental health problems.
Yeah, she should probably go see a doctor.
But like, I appreciate like, kill her, Bonnie, kill her. And like, I just have to appreciate this close up, this crazy close up on these non-perfect Hollywood teeth. Before
Yes.
Hollywood required everyone to have the same exact set of teeth. But it was like, oh wow, your teeth are fucked up. But like, cool. But then like we start to that was earlier, but then now we're like overlaying her lips and her teeth to the scene at hand. And then so then Alice is back in the cabin, and she's hiding in the pantry. We have this sort of like the Shining moment. It's a little Jack Nicholson moment here where Mrs. V just axes down the entry to the pantry and opens the door. And this is when Alice hits her over the head with like a cast iron pan.
Yes.
And Mrs. Voorhees goes down, and she kind of moves her and sees blood coming from her cranium, which would maybe make you think like, all right, she's done.
I think she's over.
So she just decides in this moment to take a stroll. I'm going to
That's
take
what
a
I would do.
stroll down to the beach. I'm going to get
Have-
into a canoe. I'm going to get into
have
a
a
canoe. I'm going to
moment.
have some thoughts. Like Zoe, like our dog, she'll sit there and she's having some thoughts. And that's what Alice decides is probably the best thing to do. And so she sits in a canoe with her back facing the horrendous ordeal that's going on behind her. And of course, Mrs. V is back. Yes, sir. Yes, sure. She's back.
She's
And
not
they
going
go.
down without a fight.
She's not. And so then they do this additional girl fight thing that happens where Mrs. V seems to be giving some sort of weird Heimlich maneuver to Alice. Then they have some rolling around, some WrestleMania that happens. There's some, and then the moment comes where Alice gets that hatchet and it goes to slow-mo, baby. It goes to slow-mo. She takes that hatchet and she takes that to Mrs. Voorhees' head and hacks it right off, clean cut
Perfect.
off. And Mrs. Voorhees, who no longer has a brain or nervous system, is like, ah,
I'll get you.
and falls over. And Alice is like, okay, well, I'm gonna get back.
I need to get back into that canoe because I didn't get the chance to
I didn't
relax.
get the chance to calm down before.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to relax on the lake, so I should probably do that now.
So Alice floats out to sea, floats out into the lake, and again, we get this music score that's like crazy good. It's like really good.
Yeah.
Like I'd go see this if like there was like a Blossom, like Cleveland Orchestra, Friday the 13th sort of deal. Like I would attend that. And now it's morning, and there's, as my lovely wife pointed out, everything's serene. The lake is like glass. You're not hearing anything really.
Alice
But
is just CBs
I mean, Alice is just seepies. She
in a
has
canoe.
seepies in the canoe, and the canoe is floating in the lake, and you see in the distance the police car coming up, and
Yeah, better
they're
late
trying to
than
yell
never.
out to her. They're like trying to yell out. You don't hear anything, and you see Alice, and she sort of like props herself up, like, ah, and then the jump scare out of nowhere. Bald, dead child comes out of the water and grabs Alice and pulls Alice into the water.
Ah!
And Alice is pulled under and she's screaming. And all of a sudden, she wakes up and sits up and she's in a hospital.
Yay.
They're about to give her 10 milligrams of Valium in her buttocks.
Yeah. Is that what they did?
It's what it looked like. He said 10 milligrams of Valium, and then the nurse turned her over and did something to her butt. So I don't know.
let's hope that she was administering drugs to her butt.
I don't know. Like, is that how you got Valium in back in the day, back in the 80s? Is like through intravenous butt shot? I don't know. And so a policeman is there, and she's kind of like, "Is everyone dead?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, everyone's
Yeah,
dead.
dude.
Everyone's super dead." And then she was like, "Well, what about the boy?" And they're like,
What?
"What boy?" "Well, then he must be there."
Then he's still there.
And they just kind of pan center on her head, her face. Boom, cut to black. And that, my friends, is Friday the 13th.
Yes. And he must still be there.
He must be.
I don't know. I've never been there. He might be in there. I don't know. So this movie got a 68% on the tomato meter and 60% on the popcorn meter.
which comparatively,
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, actually better than I would have rated it on the tomato meter if I reviewed movies. But like, again, what was Howard the Duck? 13%. What was Xanadu? Like, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so it was actually like panned at the time that like a lot of these reviewers didn't like it, but now it's a cult classic. So it's like
As
I
many as
don't
the 80s movies are, because that's all
right.
Gen X cares about. We care about our music and our movies. Every other generation can just continue to ignore us.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so our boy Gene Siskel wrote in his review, he called Cunningham, who is he's the director and also the producer.
Seth Cunningham? Is that the name?
Sean
Same thing.
Sean Cunningham,
Yeah.
one of the most despicable creatures ever to infest the movie business.
Holy shit.
Yes. Wow. So like what happened between him and Gene Siskel? Because something bad happened between the two of them. There had to have been.
I heard that he published Sean Cunningham's address.
Wow.
So people could write him letters about how horrible he is.
Wow. So he even attempted to convince people not to see this movie. And he even spoiled the film's surprise ending in his review. So he had a vendetta.
Yeah,
against
this had to do
Sean
nothing with the
Cunningham.
movie. It had everything to do with that guy. How could you do that? How could you do that in your review is to actually give the ending?
Give away the movie. What a shitty thing to do, Gene Siskel.
You're a shitty person.
Yeah, I don't care how much I hate a person. I'm not going to ruin their whole.
Your experience and my experience are going to be different experiences, asshole.
Yeah, wow. What a shitty dude. That's terrible.
I
So
really don't
Variety,
like him.
yeah. Variety, however, deemed the film low budget in the worst sense and no apparent talent or intelligence to offset its technical inadequacies.
Oh, well,
It was actually lauded as it was a part of the launch of the slasher franchise model. So we started with Halloween, moved on to Friday the 13th, and then we came to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
So,
Which none of those movies seem to stop
yeah.
at all. They may still be making all of three of these movies. I have no idea. They went on forever. Whatever. Yeah.
And they're probably still going.
And Linda Gross of the LA Times referred to it as silly, boring, youth geared horror movie. I don't know that silly is what comes to mind for me.
I kind of actually agree with her. I found myself laughing out loud so many times when watching this.
But not in a silly, like silly just seems, I don't know. There's a word. I can't think of that word right now.
Ridiculous?
Ridiculous?
Yeah, that's probably the word I would use. Is it's more ridiculous, but I will say there's a little preface to that is that it's ridiculous now in 2025. Back in 1980, it was most likely not ridiculous.
Did it? So, where are you putting this on the cringe scale?
I mean, cringe. I would say not really.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe between not really and kinda, because like the premarital teen sex is kind of like, why did everybody need to be doing that? But again, I mean, I don't think
There was nothing
really
shown. There was no like.
And I think maybe the old guy with the ass grab and are there more pretty girls like you up there? Like that's a little. So yeah, I'd say like between not really and kinda.
You're the queen of between.
I'm sorry.
I was like filling in our database, and I was like, "You're always this 0.5."
Yeah, I'll just say kinda, because the ass grab and the.
I think
late
those are
girls
they-
girls in their underpants. Like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I'm just gonna go in my underpants and like,
it was a
you
freer
know,
time.
I
It was a freer
guess.
time. I'm gonna go not really. Like I think there are a few things that kind of lifted the meter, but not enough to be like this is a cringe movie. Like no, it's not. I think it is a cult classic. I will rate it as such. I need to watch this again. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't even need not on the background. I like are we gonna have to watch some more of these? I assume so. I don't know how many of them came out in the 80s. Let's look. So wait, are you rewatching it? Are you
I
rewatching it?
agree with you. Probably no. No. I'd rather just watch like reruns of Orange is the New Black or something.
Right. Oh, let's see. Part 2 came out in 81, part 3 came out in 82. The final chapter came out in 84. The New
Oh
Beginning came out in
boy.
85, which was 4. Oh, or 5. 4 was the final chapter. 5 was the New Beginning. 6 is Jason Lives, and that was 86. Oh, Jesus. 7 was New Blood, and that came out in 88. And
We've got
8. Oh my
a
gosh. And then,
lot
okay, so
of
Friday the
to watch.
13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, came out
What?
in 1989.
Is it like Muppets Take Manhattan?
Muppets Take Manhattan.
But with Jason Voorhees? Oh, yes.
So
I
yeah,
can't wait
apparently
for that one.
we have about 10 plus 20 plus years of
Oh, shit. Well,
Friday the
guess
13th to watch.
we
Maybe
better
we'll
get
do them
moving
in
on
like
that.
a group. Maybe next year or something we do like we're doing 2 through 5. Like
And we can do all the Halloween movies.
yeah.
Oh, God.
So it's exciting that we're now in Halloween time, and
Mhm.
our next movie, we don't ever usually talk about it, but this is kind of a special time of year.
It really is. A time that's near and dear to our hearts.
It really is.
And what better way to talk about other Halloween movies than to have a movie that's about werewolves?
Oh, there's a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're
And
gonna go back to visit an
a
actor
werewolf.
back to the werewolf. So we'll be back next week with another spooky tale.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us at the Shermer High Alumni Association. If you had as much fun as we did, hit follow, leave a review, and share this episode with your fellow 80s movie lovers. Until next time, be kind and don't forget to rewind. Bye.
Bye.